bullish or bearish, whether you're a rookie trader or a rock star, we believe there's room for everyone. Every Filipino can learn how to trade. We're just your average Joe. But together, let's take advantage of the greatest equalizer of wealth ever, the stock market, where millions can be made and lost in a click of a finger. The journey to trading mastery is a lifetime, and we're here to stay. We are ZFT, and this is where the hot money is.
Hello, good evening everyone. Welcome to NFT 101, an introduction. To start siguro, let me just request for to get a feel of the audience right now. Parang who here is new to NFTs, like let's say a month or two into the NFT crypto space pa lang. Medyo marami rin, no? Like around 25-30% of the audience at the moment. So yeah, so this webinar is more about understanding what NFTs are. Siguro, before venturing into anything naman that we do, like investments or businesses, we always do our due diligence when it comes to what we're investing in. And in Playworks, this is the focus of basically the community to educate as well as provide resources that would allow the community to understand what NFTs are and how you can navigate within the space. So tonight, I'll be sharing with you what NFTs are. And this is going to be just a short introduction about how it's made and all those information that you would need as a foundation for the NFT space. All right. So the contents of this presentation would include, of course, what NFTs are, how they work, and what are the different ways of earning in NFTs. We hope everyone's settled in. So this is gonna be a bit descriptive, and at the latter part of the presentation, I'm gonna discuss some more information about practical ways to navigate in the space. And if you have any questions, you can write them down and we'll tackle them at the end of my presentation. Thank you. All right. So NFTs basically is non-fungible tokens. So basically, it's a unique digital identifier that cannot be copied, substituted, or subdivided. That is recorded in a blockchain, and that is used to certify authenticity and ownership. So this separates our digital assets from being authenticated in the blockchain and those that are just available in Web 2.0, which is the internet that anyone can download. So there are a few terms that we need to really understand. Number one would be blockchain. Since this is a token, it's going to be available in the blockchain. So basically, blockchain is a peer-to-peer and distributed ledger technology, which means that it's almost impossible to falsify, since you would need to verify thousands of people's transactions within a block, because every block is created by thousands of transactions that a lot of people do within the blockchain. So for you to falsify that data, you would need to tamper with all those transactions that they did. So not just yours, but also thousands of people who transacted within that block. And once that block is completed, you can't go back in time to change what happened in that block. So any transaction that you do will be placed in the block. It's going to be in the past, and it would be almost impossible to alter that, because you will need to alter all the transactions of all the people that did their transaction to the block at a certain period of time. So you can't change that anymore. That is the technology behind the blockchain. It's a public distributed ledger that anyone can see. All right. And non-fungible token is basically it's any form of digital asset, right? So digital asset is anything that exists in a digital format. Um, it can be in the form of PDFs, GIF, PNG, image files, video files, and other digital data that is available on our computer or on the internet is digital asset. And these can be converted into an NFT. So the other term that we need to identify when it comes to non-fungible tokens is the word fungible or fungibility. And this is the ability of a good or asset to be interchanged with other individual goods or assets of the same type. So basically, this implies equal value between a certain type of asset that has the same appearance or value as the other. So a good example of this would be our fiat currency, right? So our fiat currency is actually fungible since if you have a $1 bill, it's even though let's say it's crumpled or it has stain in it, it has different serial numbers. No matter what difference in appearance it has, as long as it's a $1 bill, it's gonna have $1. So it's gonna be valued at $1. So if you have 5 of those, it's gonna be valued at $5. That is basically the meaning of an asset being fungible. So on the other hand, non-fungible assets are basically the opposite of our fiat currency because one asset of the same physical appearance or material would not have the same value as that of the same asset, right? A good example of this that we use is Mona Lisa. So the Mona Lisa is actually one of the most famous paintings in the world. And even though you copy it, let's say you paint it on another canvas or paint it in the street, print it on printer, then the value would be different since you need to authenticate that painting to be the original painting of Da Vinci. So that is why a copy, even though if you have an exact replica of the painting painted by another great painter or a good painter of the Mona Lisa, it would not have the same value as that of the original painting of Da Vinci because the way that it was painted, the strokes, the type of paint that was used for the Mona Lisa painting could be different. So this could be verified by an art expert. So that is the meaning of non-fungible assets. So one would question, why would anyone buy a painting? If you're in the art industry, you would understand why paintings have their value, right? But for a lot of us who are not really engaged in the art industry, you would be baffled by why would people buy such a painting for such a large sum of money. So the Mona Lisa is actually worth around $850 million more at the moment. And this is housed in Louvre Museum in Paris. So the Louvre Museum Paris, based on statista.com, it accommodates approximately 8.3 million, around 8.4 million visitors per year for the past 10 years. So medyo we had a dip last 2020 because of the pandemic, but on average, it houses 8.4 million people visits per year. So if you were the owner of the Mona Lisa, you can actually find a utility for it. And one of that would be the entrance fee for the museum, right? So a lot of people around the world would be willing to go to Paris and go to this museum and pay an entrance fee to get to see the original painting of Da Vinci, which is the Mona Lisa. So for the Louvre Museum, the entrance fee is actually $17. So let's say around 50% of the visitors are paying visitors, since some of them are students or in graduate schools, so they are for free to go in. So let's say 50% can pay the entrance fee, so that's 17 euros times 8.4 million visitors times 50%. So that's roughly around $74 million in euro. ay 71 million euros per year, or that's around $78 million per year of revenue. So in terms of the ROI, if that owner bought it for $850 million divided by $78 million, so the ROI for that Mona Lisa is around 11 years. So that's where the value or the utility of having the Mona Lisa has. That's why people would be willing to buy it for a more prestige value. And aside from this income generation, you are the proud owner of the Mona Lisa. So you can brag that with your friends, your art experts as well, your art enthusiasts. You can tell them, oh, that I own Mona Lisa. So one utility would be bragging rights. And this comes as a prestige and opens you up to a number of opportunities within the art industry as well as those outside of the art industry, because you are now known to be the owner of Mona Lisa. In a way, in NFT space, we call this as an alpha project, right? You are now part of the alpha group. So that is one another utility aside from the passive income that you're generating from the visits to the museum as the owner of Mona Lisa. Right? So if you have been into the space, you might have heard about Beeple. Just a show of hands, if you have heard about the first 5,000 days of Beeple, just say yes in the chat if you've heard about it. So we have Sir Darwin who have not heard about Beeple. So Beeple is the creator or artist of the first 5,000 days. So basically, he drew 5,000 artworks over the span of, I think, 14 years. Every day he was painting an individual artwork, and this is how it looked like at the end. So this is 5,000 images, right? So this NFT was sold for $69 million. So this is the most expensive NFT ever sold, and this made the headlines for NFTs because a lot of people or news anchors talked about this NFT that was able to be sold at such a premium price of $69 million, right? So everyone was baffled. Why would anyone pay for such an artwork? So the owner of the Beeple artwork, he created the Dreamverse first event for this NFT. So the owner of Beeple is turning the artwork into an immersive party last November 2021. So this was under Dreamverse. So to enter, you need to buy either the ticket or an NFT. So this is just similar to what is happening with Mona Lisa, right? You're earning by just holding that Mona Lisa. You get to have people pay you for entrance fees to, let's say, digital museums or even real life events, just like this one. So just to give you an idea of the different utility of the the tickets. So these are tickets, right? So instead of just giving the buyer, so you have the option to buy general admission that is non-NFT here, $175, and you also have the option to buy the ticket as an NFT, which is going to be $600. So what's interesting about this is that for you to have this colored NFT, you would have to really go to the event. You can't just buy the NFT. So if you buy the NFT, it's gonna be in black and white. And once you go to the event and they scan your ticket and you enter the event or party, it's gonna turn colored. So that's very interesting concept. And aside from being able to enter and network with a lot of people who are um, art enthusiasts or even NFT enthusiasts, you also get a drink ticket for this $600, and they also accept payments via crypto. So this happened in New York last November, and there are different types. We also have the VIP NFT, which is sold for $2,500 each, and you can buy it through crypto. And it's like you have this somewhat of, if you go to amusement parks. For roller coaster, you have those fast lane passes, or what do you call this? Flash passes, that you get to go ahead in line and see the people artwork. And this event was actually um, a lot of artists, 150 artists went to this event. So you see the utility by just having that. This is just the first event for that $69 million NFT, and the owner believes that in the future there will be a lot more people who would be willing to pay to see this NFT, since this has already created such an impact to the NFT and crypto space. So imagine if in the future you get to have people go into your digital museum, quote unquote, then I'll have them pay, let's say, a fee of $50 per entry to that digital metaverse, and in the AR or VR world, that you get to see this artwork. So that he believes that this would be in the future very valuable, as this would attract a lot of people to go into a digital museum, right? And there's also a general admission for NFTs, and this would be on the daytime. The others are nighttime for the party with the influencers and big personalities. This is just one use case of NFTs. So just to sum up, our assets, the asset classes that we have in the crypto space. Number one, for fungible and non-fungible and digital physical. Fungible physical assets are fiat currencies. Non-fungible physical assets are paintings or sculptures like the Mona Lisa. And the fungible and digital assets are that of cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, or whatever coin in the crypto market. And the non-fungible and digital assets that was introduced recently is the non-fungible tokens, or NFTs. So this combines the non-fungible aspect of the Mona Lisa, where the value is based on the perception of the buyer, and anyone in the world can actually buy that through the Web 3.0 infrastructure, and your audience now broadens. Instead of just like the Mona Lisa is just in Paris, right? I can't go to Paris right now if I don't have the means or the funding to go to Paris and actually see the Mona Lisa. But for non-fungible and digital assets, we can all see it in the Web 3.0 infrastructure, and see it anywhere in the world. Especially if we already built the metaverse infrastructure in the future, then this would be but this would bring more utility to the NFT. So basically, to sum up how they work, the digital files are easily copied, but by the introduction of the blockchain, by the process of minting, which is the integration of a digital asset into the blockchain, that is what they call minting. And this tokenized version of that digital asset creates a digital certificate of ownership that can be bought and sold within the Web 3.0 infrastructure. So there are also off-chain and on-chain assets, but what we're dealing here with is on-chain. Basically, on-chain is any asset that is minted on the blockchain. So basically, any music file, sports cards. If you've heard about NBA Top Shots, they are already selling basketball NBA playing card collectibles. And then the gaming industry, you have Axie Infinity as the most common one, Big Time, Star Atlas, all these NFT games that are being incorporated into the blockchain. And artwork, like the Beeple artwork, they're all going into a process of minting to create its own authenticated digital certificate that is verifiable through the blockchain. So we've discussed so far what NFTs are, its components. So we have blockchain, digital assets, and the term about fungibility. What does that mean? And we've also discussed how NFTs work and why people actually buy these assets. So basically, in a nutshell, NFTs are bought at a premium depending on the utility of what that NFT can provide. If you feel like the Beeple artwork is an NFT that is an artwork that was spread, that brought NFT to the world, then that provides you value, and you're looking to put that NFT into a digital museum in the future, then that's a utility in itself. Now we're gonna discuss what are the other types of utility of NFTs can have that would provide value, that would allow that NFT to increase in value. So I'll just provide you with the most common ones, and there are a lot in across all industries that we have today, like finance, manufacturing, or commercial use. So there are a lot already use cases, but these are the most common ones that people are looking into, especially for those that are very speculative in the space. All right. So number one is DeFi or staking rewards. So DeFi is decentralized finance. So basically, this is similar to if you're trading or investing in the crypto markets, like the blue chip stocks that we have, BDO, BPI, Metrobank, big companies. They usually provide a quarterly or semi-annually or an annually dividend for those who are holding their shares. Like if you bought 10,000 shares of BDO, they're gonna give you a 3 to 5% dividend every quarter, something like that. When it comes to NFTs, and you have that utility of DeFi or decentralized finance or staking rewards, you earn through what we call staking. And staking is basically the equivalent of the dividends that companies give when you hold a stock. So in this case, you're holding the NFT. So as long as you hold that NFT, the creator of that project would provide you with a somewhat what you call dividends, or in the NFT space we call as staking. So that is one utility of the NFT. Right. Another way of earning in NFT is NFT art creation. So basically, this is the most common thing that projects do. They create their own NFT collection, and then they create a community. Then they build on what the use case of that NFT would be. Like myself, I could create my own NFT collection, and then if I deliver what I've intended in my white paper or roadmap, then people find more value on that since I can deliver on what I've promised. So as an NFT art creator, you need to make sure that you have the right mindset and community when it comes to creating your own collection, because not all NFT collections that you create would be sold out, right? So you can create your own, but with the expectation of just let's say having that community or to buy your NFTs. So when people buy your NFT, you get to earn through that. And what's good about the NFT marketplace that we have is that unlike what we have in traditional art, right? If you sell the art, that's it. It's sold. It's no longer yours. The owner is free to do whatever he wants to that NFT. But when it comes to that artwork, but when it comes to NFTs, NFT art, the creator of that collection actually gets somewhat of a portion of the transaction fees. Whenever it is bought or sold, you get a portion of that. So it's like a in a way, parang it's passive income for you when you mint your NFTs and people buy and sell your NFT, and you get a portion of that transaction perpetually as long as it's being sold and bought. So if a lot of people are buying and selling that NFT, then all those transactions you're gonna get yeah that's the term. You get a royalty from the transactions. Okay. All right. So another use case on earning about NFTs, earning in NFTs is NFT gaming. So basically, what we have here is that game developers create the infrastructure for that project. So they have items, NFTs, that they sell to players, and then the players, they buy that, and then this cash or transaction fees go to the network, the cash goes to the game ecosystem, and by having players buy those assets or NFTs, the game ecosystem rewards them through the play to earn model. So the game ecosystem now goes to the revenue stream of the community DAO. Community DAO is basically the decentralized autonomous organization that each project has. Usually, each project has their own DAO that would allow players to stake and vote for the future of the project. So basically, what's happening in NFT projects is that you're now part of the initial investors of that project. Just like in Axie Infinity, it's still in alpha stage. It's not yet live, but you now get to be somewhat of a venture capitalist of that project by investing an amount of money to buy their assets, and in return, you get to earn rewards, and you're helping the developers of Axie Infinity to develop that game. So this is in a way a cyclic economy that would allow the full development of the project, and also while rewarding its investors, which are actually the players. So this is how the ecosystem of NFT gaming works. So you have some examples here: Axie Infinity, Big Time, Sandbox, Decentraland, Pegaxi, Star Atlas. So these are the most common ones, or the more known ones that are AAA projects. So this is the ecosystem. You're being part of that VC group. So as part of the Playworks server, right? As part of this community where we strive for making sure that everyone has that due diligence when it comes to these projects, because as we know, there are a lot of projects going around. So I've created here just a short summary of what you first need to do whenever you are looking into a project. So step one for this kind of earning mechanism would be to go check the website, of course, right? You need to understand how the feel of the website is, what details they have in that website, and then you go into the Discord server. Now, why is it important to go into their Discord server? Mainly because all the announcements, all the details, the facts, the links would be there. And of course, as we know that the cryptocurrency market is highly social dependent in a way, because cryptocurrency is basically for the people and by the people. That's the entire framework of cryptocurrency, since it's a decentralized asset class, right? Anyone can create their own identity in the cryptocurrency space. So the Discord server would somehow give us an idea of what the decentralized autonomous organization that they have, the type of feel that they have, the culture that they're trying to embody within that community. That's why it's important to go into the Discord server or Telegram or Twitter of the project that you are looking into. So that would be the first step, just to get a feel of the project. And then step two would, of course, be doing your own research, or DOR. So one of the things that we always look for in vanguards is, number one, of course, the team. How are they handling all the questions that the community has, the details that they are providing? Are they transparent? How well are they aware about the blockchain technology? Are they just there for cash grab, or are they really trying to build something very innovative and very helpful to a lot of people? So that's one thing. So depending on the project, some projects do not dox themselves or let themselves known. Some projects allow themselves to be known for trust, right? So depending on the project, so it has its pros and cons, because the crypto space is very huge, and not a lot of people are willing to be doxed or willing to have their name known by other people. So you will have to weigh that into your consideration if you want all your projects to be doxed or all your projects to be not doxed, right? So that depends on you. Then next we have the community. Of course, you look at how their culture in the Discord server or Telegram or Twitter. And then as we've discussed, what is the utility of their NFT? Do you think that this would be something that is sustainable, or is it just a simple Ponzinomics where the first movers or first investors would gain the most return, or is it really an entire ecosystem that would allow a sustainable method of sustaining the project in the long term? So that would depend on the objective of the developers. And then, of course, we check the socials. You have to check the Twitter, Discord, Instagram, TikTok, Telegram, Facebook. Check all their socials, what they're saying, how they're responding to people. I think this is very important as well, because you see what values they are trying to impose into their community. So these are the four things that we initially check for in Vanguards. And I think this has set a good, quite a good parameter as a starting point for what projects are good to look into or invest in. So step 3 would be to check the demand. This is, of course, in line with the Discord server and Dior. And since we are already in Playworks, I would highly encourage everyone to discuss the projects in ZFT Vanguard's server channel or category, or even in the NFT flipping category, which is exclusive to our TR members. So I would encourage you to discuss them there, especially since there are a lot of people who are already good in the space and would have their own insights, whether if the project is good or not. And you can weigh those as your pros and cons when dealing with new projects, especially. And of course, you have to set your objective. You need to know, is it going to be for flipping? Is it going to be for short term, or is it going to be a long term investment? Because if the project is more on Ponzinomics, but you know that they can deliver, then that could be a flipping objective, right? Because a lot of people there are hype, how the token is being used or the website is good, then that could be one of your objectives. But if you think that the project is sustainable in the long term, then your objective could be in the long term. So some people who are already, in a way, veterans to investing to a lot of projects, they have this option of buying 3 NFTs. So the rule of 3. So if you buy 3, then one could be for flipping, another for short term. Then if the project spikes, you sell. And then the third one would be for long term. If the project is really good, then you have that one NFT left for you to hold on to for the long term if you truly believe in the project. So if you only have one, personally, I usually just flip it if it goes 2x or 3x, unless I really researched on the project and I really see huge potential on that project. Then even though I only have one NFT, I would hold on to that and even buy in the marketplace, on the secondary marketplace, just to have that base for the second objective, right? So if you buy in the secondary marketplace, there's sometimes that the price goes down and then you can buy it at the lower price and then sell it at a higher price so that you can have a return on your initial NFT buy. So that's another objective. So always set your objective very clearly at the start of the minting process. Especially, I know that a lot of people are not really accustomed to risk management, but this is very important. We've been trained in Trading Republic to make sure that we always manage our risks. So if you don't have that proper risk management and mindset, the psychology of being in this space would be somewhat deteriorated and would, in a way, make you feel down about the space. So make sure to have that set in place before the actual minting process. So in the step 4, so this is where all the step 1, 2, 3 that you did, now you decide to mint or pass on the project. So if you follow, I believe that if you follow step 1, 2, and 3, there is a high chance that you won't be rugged, or even there is a high chance that you will actually gain from that NFT venture that you're going to go into. So very important really to have these checks beforehand. All right. So just a brief summary of the pros and cons of the NFT space right now. So number one, it gives artists ownership over digital assets as well as those buying the NFTs. You get ownership of that rather than just downloading the digital asset from online. And the NFTs are unique and collectible. So as long as you have your wallet with you and it's secured, then you can collect it as long as you want and as much as you want. And the NFTs are immutable. They can't be altered by anyone or replaced. So yeah, it's very secure, and it's very secure in a way that it will always be on the blockchain as long as you don't burn it, right? But there are also cons to NFTs. It's a very speculative market. In my opinion, it's very high risk, and digital assets can be copied, especially for NFTs that are of high value, like if you put something that is proprietary to your venture or business and then create it into an NFT, anyone can see that and copy what you're doing. So just be very careful on what you mint into the NFT space. And of course, cybersecurity. There are a lot of rug pulls, security problems with just simply clicking the wrong link. Then your wallets or hard wallets might be compromised, especially if that software asks for your seed phrase. Then that would be um, one of the problems that you may encounter in the crypto space. So just make sure that you keep all these seed phrases in a physical format or in a paper written down, and don't keep it in the in any digital form. Even though it's in a notepad, don't keep it in your laptop as much as possible, just to make sure that no one in the online world can have access to that, because there are a lot of softwares already that would actually, by just clicking, would create a malware in your computer and then take control of their computer, especially if you leave your laptop just a few minutes, and then that hacker has the access to your computer without your knowledge. Then he can control everything, and your seed phrase can be compromised, or even a virus that would download everything from your database. And if they know that you're into crypto, they're gonna target you. So just be careful with that. And yeah, so that's the pros and cons of NFTs, just in a summary. So so this is just one of the webinars that we're planning to do in Playworks, and look out for upcoming live sessions. We have upcoming NFT Flipping 101 by the Trident team. So we're still discussing if this is going to be for the alpha, and the dangers of Dior. So even though we've already set in place what are the parameters that we look for, the details are very important. It's those small details that we look for that are very important. So we will be discussing the dangers of doing your own research in the NFT space, and this would be catered by the vanguards. And this is just for now, and we look forward to other webinars in the future. So just look out for those. And yeah, so that's it for the presentation. So thank you for listening. So if you have any questions, feel free to jot them down. More about NFT 101, how it works, if you have any. All right. So was it informative? Okay naman, guys? Nakakaano ba? Information overload for those na new to the space. I hope naliwanagan, no? Like the main question about NFTs is, why would I buy NFTs, or why would anyone pay huge amounts of money for NFTs that can be copied easily in the internet? And this is one thing that not a lot of people understand about NFTs, and the utility that it has, and the blockchain technology especially. if you don't understand how it works, then you'd really have all this skepticism about investing NFTs. But by understanding how it works, then you would be more inclined to really check why NFTs are here. Yeah, we're gonna be having a recording of this presentation so that those who are not here can also watch. Yes, just gonna be a recording for this one. We're gonna provide you with the link. All right. So I guess everything is clear with the explanation. Wala na atang question about NFTs. So it's just a brief introduction lang naman, no? So yeah. So good night and have a good dinner for those in the Philippines. Good night, everyone. Thank you.